Leave a like on this video if you're getting a little tired of seeing Pam Bondi on Fox News. I'll wait a second while imagine just about everybody, including myself, will react to that. But this morning, I've in general ignored a lot of her blustering simply because she has not delivered on what she has promised. Now, many people said, Jeremy, give her 6 months, give everyone 6 months, and reluctantly, I agreed. So I've kind of laid off Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino in terms of cleaning out and delivering on the things that they promised. But Pam Bondi released a pretty spicy video clip this morning, and I'm both encouraged and also extremely discouraged by what we saw. So, Attorney General Pam Bondi said the FBI is reviewing tens of thousands of videos of Jeffrey with young ones or, this kind of stuff. There are hundreds of people featured in these videos as she addressed concerns about the delay on the full release of the case files. Now, here's the thing. If we look at the release of the files of RFK, JFK, MLK, I can't even remember if they released MLK files or not yet. They've largely been nothing burgers. And I think most of that is because I, foolishly, trusted the government. The fact is, I don't even blame Trump for what we saw released because the files around JFK and RFK were probably destroyed 75 years ago. There were never any files to actually release to us. However, the Jeffrey files we know exist. We saw rolling carts full of boxes of evidence, security cam footage, hundreds of thousands of hours of security cam footage. We know the United States government confiscated and held in its possession in a recent enough time in which the people in charge of it are still alive and still in a position to be arrested and go to prison for their crimes. This is the primary difference between the JFK RFK files and the Jeffrey files. JFK RFK, everyone involved in that cover-up is long dead. If you look at the people that are involved in covering up Jeffrey, they're still alive. Now, she has said this morning, she was getting pressed about the delay in the release, and she said, the FBI is diligently going through the information. Bondi told reporters this morning, and the volume of evidence explained why more files had not been released so far. This concerns me. Do you know which part of it concerns me? It's the fact that the FBI is the one going through these files. Now, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino almost certainly have not rooted out even 1% of the corruption at the FBI. As far as I've seen, they've rooted out none of it. Maybe one guy got fired? I can't remember exactly. So we're allowing the very same people that many believe are involved in, obfuscating the truth from us, covering things up. It's like we've investigated ourselves and discovered that we committed no crime. That's the level of insanity that this is bringing. Now, the full extent of Jeffrey's offending is not yet publicly known, including whether or not he had any accomplices other than his jailed associate Ghislaine Maxwell, and the incoming Trump administration pledged full transparency on such files. Representative James Cormer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, said he feared that key documents would be shredded before Trump ever took office. The president ordered them released. The attorney general ordered them released. And we all know that they have not been released, Cormer told The Benny Show. Now let's look at that clip. Here's the clip. And I strongly believe that what we're going to get, Pam Bondi, if Pam Bondi does not deliver on what she has repeatedly promised, she should be fired immediately. Leave a like if you agree on that. She has said that there are videos. So blur the faces and release the videos, or at least release, still images of them.
what's next? I mean, we did a little bit of a preview on the Epstein Files. Obviously, that's like finding a unicorn in Washington D.C. You have come on and talked about that on this program, just for the sake of transparency, which is very big for you. And so, in closing, any motion on that, any movement on that? We hear that there's a timeline now.
I hope James has the Epstein files, because I don't think the Department of Justice has them.
I agree with that. I believe that they're lying. I believe that Pam Bondi is going to be fired before this year is over. I believe she has said now unequivocally that they have, quote unquote, thousands of videos featuring him committing these crimes. Almost certainly other people would be featured in these videos. She has said that on record multiple times, including today on video.
Or at least the Attorney General does not have them, or she would have turned them over. The President ordered them released. The Attorney General ordered them released. We all know they have not been released. And one of my biggest fears that I had, and I expressed this with Kash Patel and a lot of people, Stephen Miller, and a lot of people going into the
Trump
new administration. I'm like, I hope they're not shredding documents right now. This was a few weeks before the transition. I said, I hope they're not shredding documents.
By the way, just like the JFK and RFK files, I believe anything truly damning, like that might have other governments involved, other people involved, that got shredded long ago. It's become a tough pill for me to swallow. You all know my co-host, Luke Radowski. We're going to be live today at 2 Eastern over on Rumble, of course. We're going to talk about this today, too. We both have come to the brutal, kind of soul-crushing conclusion that there's just not going to be any files. There's not going to be anything new. And so now I'm shifting my focus to Pam Bondi, who has continually said there's thousands of videos. How about just give us one? Show me a video a video to show me that you have video of him at all. Literally at all. Show me some CCTV screenshots of him in a room with some people that he shouldn't be, and blur stuff out. Show me that you have anything that the United States public has not seen before. Anything.
But you all need to go on that first day and try to get all this stuff released, because my fear is from what I've dealt with in investigations and in communication with this deep state apparatus, is they're probably in there shredding documents as we speak. So hopefully someone has a copy of that, and I hope we find out, because our task force has done everything, led by Anna Paulina Luna. You had her on your show many times. I mean, she's relentless. She's persistent. She's pretty frustrated right now. That
she's also a lot of talk. I haven't seen her deliver anything. Sure, she's cute and she does, she does her little viral clips, but I have not seen anything released.
That these files haven't been released, even though the President and the Attorney General have ordered them released. But, it's like I told Anna the same thing I told Patel and everybody else. I'm like, you assume that somebody in the deep state said, okay, we'll just put these in a file back here, this incriminating evidence on everybody, and maybe the next administration can do whatever they want to do.
That's exactly the truth. This stuff, at this point now, there's not going to be anything new. If they don't, they've had innumerable opportunities to show the public in good faith, hey, we've got something. Look at this. Here's a new screenshot. They could do that, right? Blur out a face, show Jeffrey, show that there was somebody who's, clearly young or whatever. Blur out anything lurid. I'm sure if there are a video, as Pam Bondi says, thousands of them, of her, of him in bed with kids, then there should be like before and afters when you can at least show him in the room with them, right?
Do with it. That's unfortunately the way it's supposed to work, but it hasn't worked with this deep state.
So they're just going to let the incriminating evidence sit there smoldering that could put them all in prison.
I wish they should. That's what they're supposed to do. But you and I have dealt with them, Benny. You've covered the deep state as well as anyone. I mean, they cover their tracks.
Right.
And it's just hard for me to believe they're going to leave incriminating evidence if the government was involved. If the government wasn't involved, I don't think they would have any reason to.
Well, that's a great point too. If the government wasn't involved, think about what he just said. If the government wasn't involved, then they would have no reason to hide anything, right? They would have no reason to hide a single piece of evidence if none of it incriminated them. So why not? Why not just let it rip? I mean, if there's nothing incriminating a government, then, blur out the faces and let it rip.
Protect Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton. They're never going to be elected anything again. I don't think they would have any reason to protect Bill Gates or anybody else. The concern I've always had about the Epstein file was the government involved. Did the government know? Was the government using Epstein and the videos to blackmail the most influential?
Well, of course they were. Just like, in my opinion, they're doing with Diddy. It is my opinion that Diddy was just another version of the exact same operation. And an operation where they get compromise on famous people, and then suddenly they come out and endorse Kamala Harris. No, I can't prove that. I'm not saying it's 100% true, but I'm saying that's what I believe. The fact that she has said, again, here's Glenn Greenwald. I'm sure it's true, as Pam Bondi says, that the FBI does have a lot of these type of videos with Jeffrey and young ones. I don't think people care much about those. We should, however, find out and quickly if he worked with or for any specific intelligence agencies. Yeah, I think people would care, because as far as we know, he wasn't charged for any time with young ones. That's as far as we know, right? This is Pam this morning on C-SPAN 3 hours ago. I'm expecting new screenshots or files, or Pam Bondi should be fired by the end of the year. It's her job. The president said, let these files come out. Let them come out. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.